Hey family, welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 of Word of the Week on Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, and I pray this word blesses and encourages you. Today's word comes from Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. So, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Bible scholars say that the phrases fear not or do not be afraid is found in the Bible 365 times. 365, doesn't that number sound familiar? There are 365 days in a year. Perhaps this is God's way of reminding us each day to have faith instead of fear. You see, fear is a tactic that the enemy uses to cripple our progress and keep us bound. Have you noticed that every time God wanted to prepare someone in the Bible for elevation, growth, their next level, or even shift their mindset, he always told them to not fear? In Genesis chapter 15, verse 1, God told Abraham to not be afraid. He said this right before he created the covenant with Abraham and before calling him the father of many nations. God's plan for Abraham was for him to have many descendants, even though his wife Sarah was barren. He didn't want Abraham to fear his present infertile state, although that was all he saw for many years. God had a plan for Abraham and Sarah, and he eventually fulfilled this promise to them. Instead, Abraham eventually became the father of many nations that God told him that he would be. Now, in Exodus chapter 20, verse 20, God told the Israelites through Moses to not be afraid because he was getting ready to free them from the oppression and the slavery they'd faced. God promised the Israelites that he would take them to a promised land that was flowing with milk and honey. Although it took longer than expected due to their disobedience to God, the Israelites eventually saw God's promises fulfilled. Now in Genesis chapter 21, verse 17, God told Hagar, Abraham's concubine, to fear not, because he was getting ready to elevate her son Ishmael. God declared that Ishmael, who was Abraham's son with Hagar, who was disregarded and thrown out of Abraham's house, he declared that Ishmael would not be forgotten. God declared that he would make Ishmael into a great nation. Right after he made this declaration about Ishmael to his mom Hagar, God allowed Hagar's eyes to be opened so that she would be able to see the well of water before her. Now let's take a moment to look at Hagar. Before God visited her that day, Hagar was full of fear of the future. This fear caused her to not even see clearly. Oftentimes, fear keeps us from seeing the beauty and the abundance that God has placed before our very own eyes. Fear programs our minds to focus on our negative situations instead of on God. Anyway, God told Hagar to not fear for her son because he had a great plan for him. And God eventually fulfilled his promise to Ishmael. I encourage you to fear not. Every promise that God has spoken over your life, be it to you personally or to you through scriptures, just know that those promises will come to pass. God has already given you the victory, so fear not. I pray you were blessed and encouraged by this word. Have a blessed week, family, and see you next week for another Wow Wednesday.
Stay blessed and stay worded.